O Cerridwen, duwies yr awen, ceidwad y pair, rod y awenaddiaeth, ar fy siwrne, ac ar fy ngwaith. O Cerridwen, goddess of Awen, keeper of the cauldron, bless me with the light of Awen on my journey and on my work. The hard pebbles dug into my knees, and I winced in discomfort, momentarily breaking the illusion of solitude that I had felt to this point. I became intensely aware of other figures around me, calling, singing, whispering, and crying. The sploshing sound of cold water as others entered the lake momentarily obscured my vision of she who stood upon the inky surface. I pulled myself back into focus, and there she was again, Cerridwen, keeper of the cauldron, goddess of inspiration, testing, and transformation. Slowly I rose to my knees and entered the cold waters of her lake to stand before her, and there to ask my question, which was related to what you now hold in your hands. Should I write it? Should I expand on what I had previously penned? Her answer was as clear as day, unexpected and momentarily disarming. If not you, then who? If not now, when? Before I realized what was slipping from my lips, I heard myself say, "Oh, come on, that was Hillel. He was the Jewish scholar who said that." To which she replied, "Even he drank from my cauldron, albeit he called it something else." So I guess I had my answer. It made me giggle. I bowed to the lady on the lake, and walked steadily backwards out of the frigid waters, as others walked past me to seek her counsel. The clouds parted yet again, and the creatures of the crests returned to play along the lake's choppy surface. You might wonder that the previous account may appear fantastical or even purely fictional, but I can assure you that it was not. This was yet another year where over 70 people descended to the shores of Lake Bala, Llyn Tegid, in North Wales, the legendary home of Cerridwen and her family, the location for the saga of the tale of the birth of Taliesin, to immerse in ritual and vision. Cerridwen really did stand on the lake's surface, although beneath the fabric stood an actual human being, a person who gave up their identity to allow for something else to take her shape and form temporarily. This was an act of magic and devotion to a deity that has long been a part of my life. Since I first stepped foot onto the path of paganism in the early 1990s, Cerridwen has been there. As a child and a teenager, Cerridwen was there. In the pen and ink drawings of Margaret Jones and the dancing words of Gwyn Thomas in their illustrated history of Taliesin and Cerridwen, she was there. In this book, my hope is to explore the nature of Cerridwen, in the hope that how I was inspired may in turn inspire you. Together we will explore where she came from, who she is, what the past can teach us about her, and, perhaps most appropriately, how she is perceived and worked with in the present day. This book contains a lot of history and scholarship necessary to delve into the cauldron of Cerridwen's making, for her evolution is as colourful and varied as the history of the land that gave rise to her name. Whilst the historical and scholarly component is important, this is also a book that is indicative of the power of relationship. In essence, this is not Cerridwen's story alone. It is the story of Cerridwen, the people and traditions of Wales, and me, and my hope is that this will also become a part of your story. Introduction. 8 years ago, I wrote a book called From the Cauldron Born, exploring the magic of Welsh legend and lore. And in it I explored a single tale from Wales that tells the story of the birth of Taliesin. Within it, the reader encounters what has become a goddess of the New Age, Cerridwen. Alas, the space that I had within that book was limited, and my exploration of Cerridwen condensed to a single chapter, albeit threads of her were stretched through the entire book. I felt that I did not do her great justice, and I have wanted to expand on that ever since. To those familiar with my previous works, there is much in this tome that will feel familiar and much that will be new. I have written this book to expand on